Hello, everyone. I guess we are live. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jason, and I'm the host of today's event. And I'm the Asia Regional Community Manager for Oasis, and we are joined here by Adele from Offchain.
Hello, everyone. Nice to be here.
Cool. Super happy to have you on board. Before we start, I just want to encourage everyone here to feel free to ask questions. And if we have time after the chat, then we can go through all the questions. And I'm sure we'll have time. And yeah, so before we start, just want to do a short overview of today's chat, right? So it's about the state of Web3. And what we are going to talk about is basically introduction and also want to understand a little bit more on what Offchain is doing and also want to understand like what is your business model as well as the current state of Web3 in Asia and a few potential ideas in terms of collaboration as well as some success story if you have any. And yeah, let's get started. So before we begin, can you give a short intro about yourself, Adele?
Sure. Again, thanks for having us, Jason. If you don't know already, Offchain is an offline community group. We're in about 70 different cities around the world. That varies from Europe to Asia to US and South America as of recently as well. And all we do is just bring people together. We've kind of realized the Web3 space gets a little bit lonely, it gets a little bit difficult to keep up. So we figured, hey, if we bring these people together, they'll just catch up on the latest news or the latest meme coins or whatever it's going to be, right? So that's kind of where the idea came from, and we've been around for about 8 years now, and yeah, we'll continue to grow and hopefully continue to bring on more people and build more relationships.
Sounds good. I actually have I'm based in Malaysia and I've heard of Offchain before, but haven't got a chance to go to one of your event in KL, but we really love to come visit you guys soon. Anyway, let's get started. So can you give us a little bit intro of like what Offchain does as well as its core mission?
Sure. So as I said, we do mostly meetups, but we've done a conference last year, and again, it was part of Malaysia Blockchain Week. But where we like to really focus is regular meetups, or regular events. So we don't really think about the tokens and the consensuses of the world. We think about monthly meetups that people can come to, and it becomes a regular thing, right? So if you come to 3, 4 events, you'll start seeing the same faces, hopefully, and that's when you start building a real connection. It's not really a sales or networking kind of status. And yeah, really where we set in, or what our core value is just to bring kind of education to the masses. So we have people who've been in crypto since 2012, and we have people that literally just bought some random meme last week, and they're wondering why they lost money. So we've got the whole range of kind of people that come into our events.
Awesome. Yeah, sounds like you guys have a lot of experience in hosting events. Yeah. So moving on to my next question, right? I'm sure you guys heard of this
Hmm.
before. If not, then maybe you can explain a little bit about what is chapter-based approach, right? Because I want to ask what inspired Offchain to sort of adopt this model, and how does it affect
Hmm.
like the approach towards the local communities?
Mm-hmm. That's a great kind of question, and very observant, because usually when people come to off-chain, they just come to like one city, right? So they don't really see the big picture. Where we come from, so my background and a few of my other partners' backgrounds, we're more fintech. So you see this quite often in BNI, or you see it in mobile money or mobile Monday. So that kind of model has always worked for industries. And we just wanted to bring it into crypto because we're not for profit at the end of the day. So everything we do comes back to the community. And the way we kind of believe in it is you got to localize everything, right? So I'm, from New Zealand, currently living in Singapore or Malaysia. I will understand two markets, but I can't go into, Italy or Spain and expect to understand the culture without having someone who's actually hands-on, lives there, does this day to day. So yeah, this is really where we took the chapter approach. We bring on a new city, we call them a chapter, or we call them a new activity, and then we give them the full power, right? So they become co-founders from day one, and they can leverage that name and they can kind of utilize our branding, and of course we help them with invitations and design and whatever else it takes to go live. So yeah, it's really worked very well for us, and I think that it's getting replicated over a few, layer ones and layer twos. I'm sure Oasis is looking at something similar as well, right?
Yeah, just to add on a little bit on that. So what we are doing for Asia is sort of I would say similar model, right? Like we leverage our ambassador program, and then we have sort of still trying to look for
Mm.
more Latinos and also make them as a localized lead. So for example, in Malaysia, we'll have like one lead, and then we try to find one lead in every single country in Asia, and then based on the leaders, they will hire their own team, and basically we leverage the resources from there onwards, and then we start scaling. Yeah, so I definitely can relate when it comes to this approach, and I really think that it's the best
Mm.
approach. And in terms of efficiency and also scalability, I think it works the best. Yeah. And okay, moving
Yeah,
on to
agree.
the next,
Agree.
right? Sorry, you want to add something?
No, no, I agree. But I think the big difference, because a lot of networks or companies, they become limited with design and branding, right? Because you want to maintain a specific kind of brand. So one of the challenges with this chapter-based approach is your branding is not going to be consistent. And I think, I don't know if you guys faced it yet, but I think it's one of the biggest challenges that you have to keep in mind is how do you maintain a brand without slowing down, chapter leaders or any kind of ambassadors, right? So it is a bit of a tricky one, and I don't think people have a solution yet. So there's an opportunity there if anyone's out there listening about ideas.
Yeah, I definitely agree, because when it comes to like having a diverse team and all around the world, right, and it's definitely going to be harder for the management level to sort of maintain its brand as well as its consistency and stuff. But so we are so lucky that because we are just starting out to expand into Asia, and it's not super overwhelmed yet. So I guess we haven't faced a
Mm,
problem yet, but I would say it's a good problem to have in the future. Okay,
I'm sure.
so
I'm sure.
moving on to the next question. Okay, so this is where we talk about Asia, right? So I want to ask, like, in your view, right, what are the biggest challenges and opportunities for Web3 adoption in Asia today?
Oh, this is a very big topic, and I think it's another call on its own. But I'll try and cover some of the basic stuff because again, we talked a little bit about localization. Asia is every little region has 20, 30 languages and 20, 30 ethnicities, and it's not just one or two language per country. It's really, you need to do proper localization. And I think what people don't really understand is even the Asian way of doing marketing is very different to the Western way, right? So there's a lot more trust and influencers here from what I know, and it's a lot more, community leaders as per se, where you go there and you try and get your advice. So it's a lot more offline and a lot more human than the rest of the world, I think. And it's very easy to kind of see who's not being authentic and who's, going to scam you and who's going to try and run away with whatever you're giving them. So I think there's a lot of challenges with Asia, but at the same time, it's the biggest populations in the world. You've got India, you've got China, you've got Indonesia. So it really covers more than half the world's population. So it's not like a continent you can ignore. You just have to be careful. I think for me, starting small is the way to go. You don't have to, get 10% of the Indonesian population, which is 30 million plus people. You can start with Malaysia, 20 million, 15 million is more than enough to kind of get a base up, right? So it is a tricky one. It is a tricky one. And I think we can go on about this for easily an hour because there's really a lot going on in Asia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you touch on like the cultural differences, right? Like, so
Mm.
localization is one thing that you spoke about, right? Like, is there any other ways where you help tackle these kind of cultural nuances? And also, regulatory environment across Asia that is like different within each country. Like recently, I was told that if you want to host any workshop or events in Vietnam, you gotta have permit from to basically host an event in Vietnam. You need a permit from like the government, right? Like what's your approach on that?
Correct. So these kind of things are very tricky, man. Like especially even Vietnam, because I was at GM Vietnam a few months ago, and I don't know if you were there, but they closed down a lot of events again because of this permits, or these venues were not properly kind of instructed, and even events like B&B chain, like big money events were closed down because of this. So I don't think you can stay on top of it. I guess where we try to come in is keep it as casual as possible. So I would say more stay under the radar of these events. And again, like there's not much you can do to control kind of problems that come up. So yeah, I think I wouldn't say be cautious. I would say go for it and kind of hope for the best later on. And again, me being a New Zealander helps a lot because I'm not the local nationality. So I mean, the worst that's going to happen is I get deported, right? It's not. I'm not going to prison for hosting an event.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think it's very interesting as well because I think when it comes to expanding into different countries, you get to also connect with the uh, the local person as well as learning their culture and also their regulation as well. So yeah, so that's one thing that I'm super excited about. And when it comes to like local meetups and like learning from each other, yeah.
Mm.
So okay. So let's talk about any success story or impact. So could you share like your success story or initiative from your chapters that exemplify the
Mm.
unique dynamic of like the current Web3 market?
Sure. So we've got a lot of stories, right? Because we're very casual. We never have like a fixed agenda or a fixed item where you need to fundraise X amount or you need to kind of build this kind of relationship. So when we become more casual like this, it opens up space for more business collaboration or business startups that are like, hey, I met Jason at an event and now we're doing something together. We started an agency or we started whatever, right? Because you don't go in with the intention of let's try and sell to each other. You go in with what is this guy talking about? What is his views on life, etc. And I mean, where I want to really focus on a recent kind of success story because I started in Shanghai personally in China, and yeah, I found out about maybe 6 months ago, one of the people that came to our events, they got married from Offchain. So it was literally come in for a casual event. We meet at a bar, and yeah, they hit it off, and they stayed in touch, and yeah, they worked on a little NFT project together a couple of years ago, and yeah, as of recently, they got married. So it's little things like that our intention was never to build a business. It was bring people and educate people and give them the opportunity of the platform to talk. And yeah, you never know where that takes you, right? So
Yeah, I really like the story, and I think it goes back to the first principle, right? Like we can really tell like you're very genuine about building a community instead of trying to monetize it first, but you go for the other route, which is get people together, connect everyone together, and then eventually the value will flow back to you, right? So I can see that is the approach, and um, we in Oasis would definitely like to also, like sort of adopt that same model as well, like to get everyone come together, talk about the tech, talk about like crypto or any other thing, right? Just be human, right? Instead of try to be airdrop farmer every day and stuff like
exactly,
that. Right? Yeah. Okay, that's cool. So
exactly.
I do. Yeah. So anything to add? If not, then I'm gonna ask something else.
No, please go on.
Okay. So this one is more on the technical, a little bit on analytics side of things, right? Just want to understand a little bit because
Mm.
we manage community and stuff. And how do you measure success or impact in terms of your community initiative? Like, what are the metrics or indicator that you use?
Sure. So this is again quite a good question for us because we work on a chapter-based approach, right? So for us, when we bring on a new chapter, the first thing they look for is how many people come. They're always interested in how many people are coming to this event, how many people can we get to the next event, and they're just trying to grow that number, right? But for me, as more of a global or as like I guess a longer term kind of organizer, I don't really care about the numbers, right? I think it's more important who keeps on coming. And you'll see this again when we started in Shanghai, we were like 10 people, right? We had some events that were like 150, 200, but our like ideal numbers were about 20 to 30 people because it doesn't inconvenience the venue, it doesn't inconvenience the bar, right? Like it just becomes a regular event, a regular meetup. And the reason I like these smaller numbers is if they're regulars, then you 100% became friends with these people. They're not just people that you kind of have to see every month. You came back because you enjoyed the conversation or you enjoyed the meetup and you came back for it. So for me, what I like to focus on is the repeat kind of users or the repeat attendees rather than Luma numbers or the subscriber rate. I think there's less value in that. But again, when we start talking about business models and stuff, you'll see there's a lot of kind of consequences to having smaller amounts and kind of not measuring the bigger numbers because people want vanity, right? When you go to a sponsor, they want to see 5,000 plus at an event and they want to see 10,000 global or in Asia or whatever it is. So it is a bit of a tricky thing to balance. And yeah, again, I don't have the answer for it. I just know that it's more important to have regulars than people that come once and never come again.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, right? Like it's always the quality over quantity approach, but it's always also a chicken and egg problem, right? Right, when it comes to like getting VC to fund you and like getting like basically sponsorship, they always look at like the number of participants and like they don't really care about like who is the
Correct.
recurring participant as well. Yeah, so yeah, okay. All right, so moving on to the next pillar, right? So we want to talk a little bit about collaboration and also future outlook. So how do you see Offchain collaborating with projects like Oasis to further accelerate the Web3 innovation as well as the privacy um, adoption in Asia?
Sure. So we worked with a lot. If it's like our most simple kind of arrangement or collaboration is we've got an event. Do you want to sponsor the drinks or the food to the people? And of course, we'll put your branding out there. And if you want to put a banner or speak or present, then that's the way to go. So that's our most basic kind of collaboration. Some of the more complicated stuff is, look, we're in 70 cities around the world. Why are you just interested in, KL? Why don't I get you in KL? I'll get you in Singapore. I'll get you in Bangkok, and then we'll look at China. So it's kind of multi city roadshow in a way, and then it allows us to kind of work more closely together with them. It allows us to introduce more chapters, so it's not just one person managing it. They get a better kind of feel on all of our kind of founders that are involved. So yeah, there's a couple of ways. And then as of recently now, we're starting to do more online. So we're looking at Twitter Spaces and we're looking at a little bit of live feeds. We've already done quite a few in Chinese. But again, these kind of like channels allow us to bring out more of the talent that's already within the community. So, I mean, you said yourself, if you had been to an off-chain, why shouldn't you be able to showcase what you're working on to our audience, right? It's you're part of the community. Why not help yourself to the community too? So it's little things like that that we kind of continue to improve and play around with, and hopefully kind of bring in more people and bring in more education. And it's tricky because there's a lot of complicated things in our industry. So it's not something you can just explain in 5 minutes, right? So we do have to balance the level of education and the levels of technicalities that we kind of showcase to everyone. Because you have to keep in mind, we have a wide range of people. So you kind of have to dumb things down a lot if you can.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like try to keep things simple and because like it reduces stress and also keep things moving faster because I think in Web3 we just want to move faster and like the terms of like the tech adoption and like the innovation is moving so quickly and it's sometimes it gets like you get lost, like you don't know what's the latest trend and stuff like that as well. Yeah. So yeah, we would definitely we
Definitely.
can definitely discuss on like how we can collaborate in terms of hosting an event and stuff in the future for Asia, because actually looking at working together with university. So we have an upcoming one. I think next week we are doing one in Indonesia. It's like a workshop where we have
Nice.
our guest speaker from our
Mm,
team sort of explain Oasis to everyone in Indonesia. And then probably like 2 weeks after, we are doing one in Malaysia as well. And then 2 weeks after the Malaysia one, we are going to be doing one in Thailand as well. So yeah, so for everyone that is tuning in right now, if you are um, from university or from any countries in Asia, and if you want to work together, feel free to send me a DM right after the show. Okay. So sorry, I got carried away a little bit with my self promotion.
No, no, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
You forgot to tell people to throw in their questions as well. Yeah, keep on coming.
Yeah,
We've got a
yeah,
couple
yeah,
of
yeah. Keep
questions,
them
but
coming. Keep them coming. Don't be shy, guys.
exactly.
Okay. So next question would be so what is an upcoming initiatives or any events that you are most excited about that you want to further support the Web3 ecosystem?
Sure. So we focus on regular events. So we have the kind of business as usual, the BAU going on. What I am really excited about, and we had a few VCs reach out to us. Because right now, a big problem in the VC world, again, if you're looking for business opportunities, their projects are not getting much reach and awareness, right? So what they're realizing is, look, we need to do our own kind of VC umbrella event and showcase our projects. So it's costly to do that, especially if you don't have an existing community. So they come to people like us and say, look, you've got the community, we've got projects, we're not selling anything, we're already invested, we just need real users, basically. And yeah, so we're in discussions with a few VCs about doing kind of a roadshow around maybe 5 or 6 cities over 5 or 6 days. We haven't published anything and agreed on anything yet because obviously there's a bit of a budget that needs to be involved in that. And again, we're not for profit, so we need to agree on the numbers so we don't end up losing anything. So we've got a few exciting roadshows coming up, but this is in the offline side of the world. Online, we've started our Twitter Spaces or X Spaces, as I said. Anyone in the community that wants to kind of become a speaker or share their thoughts, they're welcome to email me or just DM on or just tag me on X, and I'm happy to kind of send you the speaker form. And again, these are just opportunities for our community to showcase themselves. These people have been in our community. It doesn't matter if you're new or old. Why not share what you've got? Share some of your education, share some of your opinions. Of course, without selling anything, right? We're not here to be sold to or bought from.
Yeah, I like that, and can't wait for the upcoming announcement that you are gonna make about these VC events. And yeah, feel free to let us know as well. We would like to get involved in if and we can discuss after the call as well. Yeah, so
Of course.
okay, moving on to the next one, we want to talk a little bit about your personal perspective, right? So I'm sure you have been in the Web3 landscape for quite some time now, and
Hmm.
just want to understand a little bit on like how have you seen like the Web3 landscape in Asia evolve over the couple of years, and what excites you most about its future?
Sure. That's very interesting because it depends on the aspects, right? Some aspects in Asia have not changed at all, like at all. I've been in Asia for about 10 plus years, and I've been in crypto for about 8 plus years. And really, some aspects have not changed at all. But let's focus on the things that have changed. I feel like people or projects here are a lot more sophisticated. If you look at some of the token economics and some of the models that are coming out of Asia, like they're really clever, like very unexpectedly clever. And again, this is kind of out of force. They had to adapt. They had to create some smarter models. They had to create more engagement, especially for the token. And yeah, and It's kind of expected, right? Because Asia's one of the biggest gaming market in the world, so they really know how to keep your attention. They really know how to kind of motivate you on that side. And we're generalizing, of course. Asia's a huge continent, so there's people all around. But I'm going to speak predominantly about China, Malaysia, Singapore, and a little bit about Vietnam, because that's where I spend most of my time. Um, and yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff. You mentioned privacy and AI as well, or am I mishearing? Because privacy side, I don't think they care that much in Asia. It does happen and it does come up, but it's not like I've never met someone that says I bought this because it's private. Because yeah, there's no privacy here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There's cameras everywhere. There's CCTV everywhere.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like there's definitely still a lot room for improvement in terms of privacy in Asia because I feel like
Yeah.
especially in China, like I feel like because last year I was in Shanghai and like there's literally
Mm,
like CCTV every 100 meters away. Like it was
yep.
insane. Like, I was super shocked, right? Because we don't have that in Malaysia. Or FYI, I'm based in Malaysia,
Yep.
and yeah,
Don't have that yet.
yeah. Let's just hope it doesn't come to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
Very true.
the question was just general in terms of Web3 landscape. So it wasn't about privacy or
Sure,
AI.
sure.
But let's get to that since you already mentioned, right? So want to ask like what are your
Sure.
thoughts on privacy and AI in Web3?
Privacy, I don't have much thoughts or opinions because I feel like it's going to be less and less private. Especially in today's age, a lot of wallets can be linked back to the people, and we've got some great investigators out there, and I personally think it's a good thing, right? We've long gone are the days of creating your own 50 wallets and expecting people to believe that you're 50 different persons, right? Now you can link the wallets and you can do a bit of charting to see who owns what. And I mean, the Chubb coin was a great example of that, right? They saw pretty much from day one, yeah, these wallets all belong to the same person. We might not know who that person is, but it's definitely the same person. I think it's a good thing where we're losing a little bit of these privacies because it kind of removes some of the barriers for scams, rug pulls, and non-authentic people in the space. In terms of AI, yeah, there's a lot of things happening. I used a few platforms. I don't know, actually, there's a Malaysian company called Virtuals. I'm not sure if you played around with it yet as well. But yeah, they're doing AI agents and
Yeah,
kind of
I'm actually
pivoted recently into it. Yeah, so it's really exciting to see even small countries like Malaysia making a big dent in the AI space, and it's no longer just open AI. And I'm sure even in the Web2 world, you've seen a lot in DeepSeek and kind of China's involvement. So it's really exciting to see smaller countries or smaller regions kind of make a dent in this because there is a lot of opportunity, and especially for blockchain and AI, because naturally you do need to have like a payment mechanism that falls directly into the AI or the AI agent. And yeah, so it's really exciting. I'll play with different platforms every kind of week, so I do try and keep up to date. But yeah, there's so much going on that you can't stay on top of it, and that's why I go to off-chain events because I beat someone and they tell me what they used, and I try to test it out after I get home. So yeah, very exciting AI and blockchain.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like everything is moving so fast and like especially in the AI space,
A
like
lot.
I myself I can't keep up as well. Like sometimes I have to talk to my friends, like they will start showing me different like AI agents, and then I'm like, yo, what is that, right? Like go check it out and stuff. And yeah, like you say, right? You gotta have like a community, and yeah, I really love like what you guys are doing, building a community and basically get everyone together with the same purpose of learning together, and yeah, like moving
Hmm,
around country and just meeting new people and learn from everyone. Yeah. Okay,
exactly, man.
so
Exactly.
I actually ran out of questions already. So maybe let's check if we have any questions from our community. Okay. Okay, it seems like we don't have any questions. So I guess let's wrap this up then. Just want to shout out to Adele from Offchain for being here today. And do you have any links or any social media that you want to plug? This is the time. And yeah.
Let's start
Also,
selling, huh? I guess on our side, we do keep our offchain.social website up to date. Just find whatever city is near you, and yeah, come down to an event and have a chat with a couple of the founders.
sounds good.
Otherwise, yeah, wherever you're watching this, I'm sure we've been tagged by Oasis as well, and yeah, you can follow us and follow them, and everyone's happy.
Yeah, sounds good. And I can't wait to be at the next event that's happening in KL. Just let me know, send me a message, I'll be there. And yeah, also a huge shout out to our community members who tuned in today. And thank you so much for making time, everyone. And yeah, I think this is it. Cheers. Bye
Awesome.
bye.
Thanks a lot, Jason. Thank you, Oasis. We'll speak soon. Bye.